What's up, all my musicians out there? This is a video I've been wanting to film for a while because I've gotten asked this question a lot. I'm currently bouncing around LA right now. I have a little break between work. And I was like, you know what? I might as well film a video about this because this is something I've been asked so many times. And that is, when it comes to Splice sounds, I'll say any royalty-free database, but let's use Splice because it's the most popular. Should you use it? Should you use those samples? Now, this video could be very lengthy. There's actually a lot more that goes into this than you can imagine, and this can get unbelievably tricky in numerous different ways. I hate YouTubers that ramble on, so I'm really trying to give you the simplest answer. My quick one-off answer is it's not what samples you use, it's how you use them. That's pretty much the overarching idea of this entire video. To go a little more in depth, and I'll give you a couple different points because this can get really tricky. One, a lot of labels now, one of the big questions I ask you when it comes to you submitting a song, besides, hey, what genre is it? Or does this have any samples that are not cleared, right? One of the big things they're asking now is, have you used any sounds that are in Splice? Or do any Splice samples exist in this song? Yes or no? And the reason why a lot of labels are doing this, among a lot of other companies doing this, is because although, yes, when you download a sample on Splice, you have the rights to it, which is awesome. You don't really have to worry about the business aspects of using that sample. However, the one thing that does get lost in using a sample that is out in the open for everybody is the creativity. That's the biggest thing. That, let's say you use, I'm making this up, a 1 or 2 minute long vocal sample of a singer singing something, and then you release it through a label, and then someone else releases a track with the same exact vocal sample. Well, yeah, you both have the rights to that. You're not doing anything wrong, right? It's not like you're doing anything illegal, but the creativity is lost. So what I say to a lot of people, say if you are looking to use Splice Sounds, and I use Splice Sounds all the time. I use it constantly. I love Splice Sounds, is to focus more on either A, one-shots. In case you don't know, when it comes to samples, and I'm simplifying this a lot, there's really two types of samples. There's a one-shot and a loop. Now, a one-shot, as it sounds, is like a one-hit, right? So it could be a clap, it could be a kick, a hi-hat, a snare, it could be a vocal one-shot, like a ah, like that or something. Those are one-shots. Now, a loop is typically something that's a bit longer, that could be a collection of one-shots. So if I have ba-da-da-ba-da-da-ba-da-da-ba, that's a loop. Or if I have a vocal sample that's oh, or something weird like that. I know I'm just making some random stuff up. That would be considered a loop. And now, as you can imagine, a loop is a lot easier to recognize and is less creative than if you use a one-shot. Now, if you do happen, though, on the second point, to use a loop, I do suggest chopping it up, doing something unique with it. Basically, mashing it up, mixing it up, maybe transposing it, maybe adding some weird effects to it. Do something to it that if someone is going through Splice, it's harder for them to be like, wait, I just heard the same sample in the song. No, of course, there are very distinct samples on Splice Sounds, especially if you look at snares. Snares, I think, are a great example of something you could use on Splice Sounds, but a lot of people might recognize, oh, wait, I recognize this snare. I think this is in Xylan's pack or on some tropical pop pack or whatever. But overall, the biggest thing really what it comes down to when it comes to Splice really is creativity, is using the samples there in such a way that doesn't stuff your creativity as an artist. Because a lot of artists, and you can tell this pretty quickly now, as opposed to before Splice, they used to, you make your own melodies, you make your own stuff, etc., etc. When it comes to Splice now, I've heard of some people, they're just taking a bunch of loops or a bunch of just almost elongated leads and synths and basses and drum loops, putting them together in a track. They basically didn't make anything. They're more just combining everything and then letting it go. And there's nothing wrong, like I said, and I want to stress this point, there's nothing wrong with sampling and using samples from Splice. I really want to make that point, but I will say that when it comes to making a very creative track that really stands out, that really represents you as an artist, it all comes back to what I said in the beginning of this video. It's not what sample you use, it's all about how you use it.